Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to my undisputable superpower, Hemant Jain. Such a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing today?
Life is fantastic. So everything is great.
Life and transformational coach. When did you decide, Hemant, that this is your calling?
So I think it happens over a period of time. So for me, I have spent 2 decades in management consulting, so change management consulting, where in spite of being in IT companies, I was never the IT guy. I was always focused on people, and change management consulting was all about people, taking people through change. So in many ways, I was doing the bit of coaching and mentoring all through my career. I think it was about 2015-16 that I actually started reading a bit about coaching and got exposed to a bit of coaching. So I said, okay, this is where I should take my career next because this is something I already do. I'll formally do it. That sort of thing happened. But it took a COVID and 2020 to make me take a actually step forward, because sometimes life has to give you a kick to take steps forward. Otherwise, you become complacent. Everything is going fine, so you take life very coolly and calmly. But when COVID happened, I said, okay, all those plans which I had about becoming a coach, let's put it into action. Got my certification done, and then again gradually it happened. Started with life coaching, realized people were struggling with career also, so added career coaching to it, and then of course it's been growing since then.
So you do love to do things in the opposite direction, right, Hemant? Everybody does any course and then they do IT and they're doing coding and stuff. And you've just got exactly which is your very favorite and your tagline, I should say, uncomfortable coach. Is that right? Is that what you call yourself?
Yes. So I mean, again, this is over a period of time that I got those names from people. I began calling myself the clarity coach because through coaching, that's what I offered. But then in conversations, etc., I mean, you have to take people through the whole process where you get them out of their comfort zone, uh, make them comfortable with the discomfort of getting out, and then chart the path to success. So in the conversations it would come up, and I would say that, yeah, I literally get paid for making people uncomfortable, and that's where the name of uncomfortable coach started taking off. And I mean, the once the name caught on, then yes, when I used to do programs or like series, like the panel discussion series which I did, I called it Comfortably Uncomfortable with Coach Hemant. So it's just a very interesting thing, catches people's attention, and once they get into the concept, then they realize that, oh yeah, makes a lot of sense. So those are the things, and of course many other names. One of the names like you have given me, the filmy coach tag. Again, it came by automatically, or by the performances I gave. So in my talks, I used a lot of movie references, got people to
Totally.
stand up and go all Shah Rukh Khan. So you decided to like, oh, the filmy coach. That also caught on. People now remember. So I think in the Dubai network of people, a lot of people remember me as the career, as the uncomfortable coach and the filmy coach. Probably they don't even know my name.
Which is a good thing to have. But tell me, did you miss your calling as a film actor? Do you think in another life, or maybe even now in this one, you're going to become one of those days we're going to see you on screen on the big one?
So if you look at it, I am an actor. I mean, wherever you are out there speaking in front of people, like call it public speaking or get onto stage and address people, you put on a performance. You are sending out a message. Every movie is the director visions being communicated to you. I just do it in a different way. So not exactly filmy, but it's like real life filmy. So I'm living my dream.
So, was the 8-year-old Hemant as filmy as the one who is today? Or
No.
what kind of a person were you when you were 8, when you were 18? What kind of a person were you?
So I think growing up, I was most known in my family, etc., as the person who will always be buried in his books. And not just the study books. In fact, not the study books. It was always the fiction. So I started off, of course, with the Chacha Chaudhary and tinkle, and then soon graduated to the books with a lot of stories and less of pictures, because I would start a Chacha Chaudhary and it would get over in 50, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So I started reading library books. Again, in a week, I would take 2, 3, reading every book in 2, 3 weeks. So I was the bookworm. I grew up reading a lot. And somewhere in the senior years of school, started doing those school plays, even if it was like I literally started off with trying to do an elocution competition, speaking, reciting a poem. And I saw the crowd of 200, 300 children in front of me, and I went complete silent. So my first stage performance was absolutely speechless. But thankfully, I did not get traumatized by that, hopefully. And I took up opportunities, and I went to the teacher, told her that I want to be in a play. And uh, she took a safe bet on me and made me a tree in the next play. So I was there standing all through the play. So I had the maximum stage time, if you may look at it very positively, and a little bit of trees and branches waving. But then, of course, graduated to the speaking roles, even if it was one sentence and beyond. But then that's how the evolution happened. By 18 in college and all, I was always looking forward to the plays and all, getting onto stage, being more friendly with people and so on. So life that way has evolved. I have changed.
So, do your friends from those days, I'm sure you keep in touch with them, because that's one of the good things of, having lived in a place and growing in the same place. Then that means you have friends who are still there. Are they amazed at you, at how you've kind of evolved and changed as a person? Or do they like, we always knew it was in you, only you didn't realize it? What kind of a reaction comes from them?
Yeah, no, not the second one. But I think what has happened is that while I was in the career path, it's like, okay, normal. Everybody is having a good career. So that mild appreciation is always there. That, oh, you have been doing good, etc. I think it's just when I became a coach and I left my job and jumped full into it. And two things happened. One, that appreciation changed in the way that, oh, you're doing something very different. I would have loved to do that, but don't have the courage to take that leap, leave the job, the security of the job, and do something like that. Second is the visibility on the LinkedIn and other social platforms. And whenever I give talks and all, so people do say that, oh, you are all over the place. Oh, chaye hue ho. So it's great to hear that. At the same time, we know that life on this side of the spectrum is not all rosy. It's from a fulfillment side, it's extremely fulfilling. The last 1.5 years since have I transitioned from a job to a coaching career, uh, life has been extremely fulfilling. I'm enjoying myself doing the talks, the coaching, the interactions. But of course, on the business side, yes, that struggle continues. It's a very different life. You are not just delivering, but you are chasing work and so on. So it's very interesting. But outside, people have this very high level of appreciation for what you are doing.
I think that also comes from a place of being consistently, creating that awareness, which you take a lot of efforts to do. And which brings me to these recent, you've done many before, but the recent live events and recent recordings that you've been putting up in various Facebook groups, small bite size, that takes a lot of effort, Hemant. So, what goes on in the background? How do you prepare for it? And, how do you kind of plan it out? Tell me a little bit about that, please.
Sure. See, whenever something comes out, like let me give again a movie example. Uh, when Avatar movie came out, or when the Terminator movie came out, there was a lot being said about the vision of the director and how it was a revolutionary movie, the way the whole movie was conceptualized, when technology met vision. So much was written about it. And then you find one or few articles talking about that this vision took 20 years to in the making. The idea of doing something like this was with the director, and his ideas have evolved over a longer period of time, and it could be 10 years, 20 years, even in some cases 30 years. And it came to fruition at a time when technology supported it, and the ideas really took a very refined shape. So when I came out with this Business Bite series, it's a culmination of an entire year of interactions with the business networking groups, meeting so many different business owners, and also getting to understand where they are either missing out, where they really should have focused. But it just, the life of an entrepreneur is so much filled with chasing leads, chasing sales, follow up with existing clients, chasing payments, that you become an employee of your own business and you forget to become the business owner, the visionary with which the space where you started off, the mental space. You start off a business with a big vision. I'll do this, I'll create this impact, I'll make these changes in the society. I mean, people really start thinking big and then say, okay, let's start small and grow. And that growth phase where there's a lot of struggle, that vision takes a backseat. So, and then of course, it impacts the growth itself. When your vision is not clear, when your definition of your client is not clear, when you have to take a decision and you are like lost because your core values and your priorities and your vision again got muddled up. That's all what I'm talking about in my business bites also. Absolutely going back to the basics of business and reminding people that, okay, spend 15 minutes of your day today thinking about your core values, thinking about your priorities, thinking about who your customer is in detail, in depth. So, what I've come to now is creating these 5 minute, 3 minute videos about these individual topics. But it has taken a years of my own evolution and understanding about the problems faced by business owners that has led to it. So, as they say, no, overnight success is a result of so many years of hard work.
Right. Is there a book coming out very anytime soon about this?
I would love to write a book. It's just that I feel so lazy writing about things. So, book definitely is in the making. But when it will come out, I am not giving a deadline to myself right now. But yes, definitely in the
Because
making.
very honestly, Hemant, a person like me, rather than a video, I would read a book, keep that hard copy of book right next to my desk, open it time and again when I want to, take a look at it. Because there are some people who are visualizers and some verbalizers. So for me, I need to see the text and then give
Yes,
space to my thinking. And that's why I would look forward to a book which has these, especially your customer journey content is like so amazing, and it brings things in perspective for everybody, because
yeah,
everybody has a customer, you are serving somebody. So I would for one love to see Hemant Jain, author, life transformation coach. I would love to see that. So I look forward, maybe 2024 will be the year, who knows. And
definitely,
in
definitely.
yeah, go ahead.
Sure. You mentioned a very nice thing when you talked about the book, that I would like to go back to the book again and again, and trust me, that is where the books are better than any other form in which a book gets released. We have got the Kindles, we have got the audio books. I have gone through that phase of reading physical books. Then I started reading on Kindle, and I started reading majority on Kindle. And now nowadays I listen a lot to the books. Once I like the book in audio or Kindle format, I end up buying the physical book, because the value of those books repeatedly comes from going back to the page, turning the pages, finding a spot, and doing that. Not very convenient thing to do in a Kindle or audio book. So, and you start marking, you start writing down things of your own, and those are the deep insights that you really got from the book, and that's where the value of a physical book comes in. So. I just wanted to say that, because anybody who's listening to this and uh, is reading books once and then not touching them again, this is how you get the value out of a book.
So this is a perfect segue to ask you this question: which is your one or two books which you always go back to? And do you have a favorite quotation somewhere which you use often, or motivate yourself? Is there something?
Right. So I think one book which I read recently is The One Thing. It was suggested by a good friend Samir GP, and he's also a coach and a Toastmaster. So he suggested me to read this book, and it has been a revelation. You know the basics, but when you see it, as I said, encapsulated in a book form with explanations, with some theory, with some practicality, it drives home the point. And the point of the book was focus on one thing at a time and don't spread yourself too thin. I realized that I was doing that. I was trying to do a lot of things simultaneously in the same span of time. And I realized that focusing on one thing can actually help me complete things. Like my book, I mean, it's been in the writing for so much longer time because I've been trying to do many things. I think the day I decide that, okay, next 7 days I'm going to write only and only the book, it will get completed. So it's like that. In
Brilliant.
terms of favorite quotation, I think it's been an evolution for me in terms of the quotation. Uh, the Alchemist had this great quotation. It said, "The whole world will, when you really want something passionately, the world will conspire and make things happen for you." So it was a very interesting quotation. I liked it when I read the book. The book overall I did not like for some reason, but that quotation stuck with me.
Finally, I
But
meet somebody. Finally, I meet somebody. And this is on
yeah,
record. It just
I
went.
know.
And while you were saying about Alchemist, I thought maybe I should go back to the book now. Everybody recommends this. Maybe now I'm matured enough for this.
I've got a couple of books which I've not liked, which people really talk highly about. So I just like, okay, yeah, nice book. Because people get offended when I say that, oh, I did not like that book or I did not understand that book. So on that note, Fountainhead by Ayn Rand is another great book people talk about, and it just went over me. Like I couldn't get the point of the book. So that's one book. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, a great book. I've tried reading it twice already, and every time I read the book, I think, okay, I'm not matured enough for the book. I still have some more life to see before I actually understand that book. So yeah, those things happen. And coming back to the quote, it's only when Shah Rukh Khan said, "अगर शिद्दत से किसी चीज को चाहो तो सारी कायनात तुम्हें उसे मिलाने में लग जाती है." And I think that's where I think the translation into Hindi and the choice of words it made, and of course, Shah Rukh Khan gave life to that dialogue. Then it
Yeah.
became my favorite quote, and I've used it so often, not just while talking, but even in my presentations, when it is about helping people understand that once you start focusing on things and you really go after them, then people around you, situations around you, you will start finding that everybody's kind of helping you achieve it. And it works, and it has really worked beautifully for me also.
So, Hemant, when you get up in the morning, what do you tell yourself?
Getting up in the morning, okay. The morning starts with all that screaming happening in the house with two kids going to school. But once that chaos settles down, it is about uh, telling myself about the things that I have to do. Whether it is the business bites that I have to record, or whether it's a meeting I have to go, or whether it's a client meeting where I have to coach the person on a certain thing. So for me, the morning begins with how are you going to prepare? So each one of those conversations needs some amount of preparation. And then, of course, once you are into the presentation conversation, it's impromptu. But for me, the primary question is how are you going to prepare? And then get on with that.
In the recent, with due apologies, in the recent past, we've seen a lot of advent of coaches, different types of coaches. And,
Absolutely.
sometimes one is a little confused as to, is right starting from, do you need a coach? Why do you need a coach? And then how do these coaches get themselves that credibility? You said you did some certifications. I want to understand, how did you choose those certifications, the ones which you did? If you could share a little bit about that, and why
Sure, sure.
that, what was it which made you choose that? I would like a little bit of a background insight into that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So certifications, there are many. I mean, there is this ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation. They have their own certification, and then there are many coaches who run their own certification programs. The likes of the Tony Robbins or now Vishen Lakhani in Mind Valley. In India, we have got plenty of coaches, including the Arfin Khans of the world. Locally here in Dubai, you would have other coaches. They all have got their uh, coaching certification programs where they would make you a coach. The thing is, you have to evaluate a few of them. Like ICF is a whole body. It's not a private organ. It's a private organization maybe, but it's not an individual who is trying to coach you. So it's a lot based in theory. There, it has got a lot of stringent requirements that you should have coached after you have learned coaching. You should have coached, let's say, X number of hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, probably 100 hours before you get your certification. So there's a solid amount of validation, verification happening in the process. But the end of the day, once you become a certified coach, you start calling, I'm a certified life coach. And you start having those conversations. And very soon, I think it's a matter of 6 months, 3 months, or even 12 months for some people, you drop the certified and you say, I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a relationship coach, because you realize nobody's really asking for your certification. So while a certification is important because you go through a formal process and you understand and learn the theory of it, it's not going to make a lot of difference to individuals. Yes, it may make a difference to corporates when they want to induct you, that they would want some, like they have qualifications requirements for taking a person in a job. Similarly, if they wanted to empanel a coach, they would say, okay, what are your certifications? Where have you been certified? But an average individual has literally never asked me that, oh, what certification have you got? So that's the significance of the certification. Now, that's coming from the perspective of your target audience. If to deliver coaching to them, what you need to bring together is the art and science of coaching that you can learn. The second is your life experiences. And I think that is where, as you rightly said, there are too many coaches out there. That is where the dilution of quality is happening, because the certification programs are there which can create a standardized set of people. So like an MBA program, MBA programs are churning out MBAs in thousands every year, but the quality differs because those individuals, how they apply the learning, that changes everything. And same for coaches. Coaches with a longer and larger experience of life, and I say both, because somebody with a 20-year experience will be a very different kind of coach as compared to somebody with only 4 years or 5 years, a very young person who has seen life in a different time. So somebody who's 25 years old versus somebody who's 40 years old, we have seen a very different life. We have seen different life struggles. We have seen different technology levels of life. And you've got a 25-year-old, the millennial, who has seen a very, very different life, a digital life, probably a life where quite a lot of privileges have been there. So their life experiences are different. And so when they are coaching somebody and that person is talking about being stuck, being caught up in the corporate world, or being caught up in relationships, the appreciation or the understanding which a 40-year-old, 50-year-old coach versus a 25-year-old coach brings in is very, very different. And I am not even comparing here which is better. They're just different. Because if I had to coach a millennial, I would find it very difficult, because while I could apply my experiences and wisdom, I would still lack the context of being a millennial. So a millennial has seen life very differently. Their priorities are different. The way they look at relationships is different. The way they look at future is very, very different. We look at future very differently. So those differences make up the overall capability, credibility, and quality of the coaching. So the coaching certifications sure give you a push. They actually let you enter the industry and actually call yourself a coach and give you the confidence that, yeah, I'm doing something right because I'm following the right process. But the actual ability to coach really comes from your own experiences. Even the 25-year-old needs to bring his or her own life experiences into the coaching. Otherwise, if they just try to follow the process, then they are as good as an algorithm or an AI doing coaching, where they are not applying themselves, but just a process to it. So it becomes a McDonaldization of coaching, which we have seen happening in the last 2 years. Yeah, sadly.
Right. So, Hemant, thank you. You've given me so much time, and I have to now ask you the most important question of the series, which is, what is your undisputable superpower?
my undisputable superpower will be to connect with people. That's what I did during my consulting days when I connected with people and helped them through change. This is what I do even now when I connect with people, and very quickly I am able to hopefully grasp where they are stuck, what is their struggle, and give them something which is useful for them to just think out of that box. And my goal is to help people understand that you always think out of the box, and then you are in a larger box, and you think again out of the box, and you are in the even larger box until you reach the stage where wisdom sets in. Then enlightenment sets in, and you realize there is no box.
I think you're going to land up with a new hashtag as well, as unboxing coach.
Maybe we could. I mean, we are on always unboxing life, unboxing challenges. Why not?
Thank you so much, Hemant. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you in person in many of the events where we come together and even otherwise. And wishing you all the very best for everything. We are almost, it's like November now, so wishing you all the best for everything, and I look forward to seeing your growth. Do you have anything
Same here.
else which you want to? Yeah, take care of yourself,
That's
and bye for now.